Hi guys, welcome back to our kitchen. As you can see, today I'm with my partner and he'll try to make the video look a little bit better, and maybe he'll help me a little bit in the kitchen as well. So today we'll make for you kimchi. Our stash in the fridge is going a little bit low, so we thought that
we haven't got more.
We've got a few more leaves floating in the brine.
Some leftovers.
Yeah. So for kimchi we're gonna need Chinese leaf cabbage or Napa cabbage, and we're having two small ones. They weigh about 1 kilo. We're also gonna need some spring onions, that's a whole bunch of them, some carrots. We're having three, one big, two smaller ones. You can use two bigger ones if you want. We're also gonna use apple. And apple is our addition, and if you don't want it you can skip it, but I'd suggest leaving it or using maybe Asian pear, I think, just for a little bit sweetness. And for aromatics we are using some garlic, some ginger, fish sauce, and of course gochujang. If you have,
it is a paste. Chili paste. Yeah. Red chili paste. Huh? Oh, it's blended. Looks like marmalade. Nice.
That's what the paste is, darling. So if you have gochugaru, you can use gochugaru, and gochugaru is basically chili flakes, chili powder, as well Korean. Or if you don't have any of this, you could use regular chili flakes, but then be careful not to use too much because it will be much stronger than these things. So okay, let's get started. First we need to chop our cabbage. I'm gonna take out first leaves and I'm going to use them later on. I'll show you for what reason. And I'm going to chop my cabbage in about 1-inch pieces, just like that. Put everything into the bowl. And that's how I'm going to chop all of my cabbage. So my cabbage has been chopped, and now I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of sea salt to it. It seems a lot, but some of the salt will stay in the brine. Anyway, salt is really important to stop the cabbage to, how do you say it? The germs to develop, I think. So massage the salt in. Now we are going to cover our cabbage with filtered water. Just enough water to cover the cabbage. And I'm going to cover it with lid and leave it for minimum 6 up to 8 hours. And we're back after 6 hours, and this is our cabbage. Now we need to drain it, but remember to leave all the liquids because we are going to need it later on. And we can move to the next step. So now we are going to prepare all of our veggies that are going to go in with the cabbage. So we're gonna start with the spring onions. I'm gonna trim the ends first. And I'm going to cut my spring onions in about inch long pieces. Let's move that aside. Now our carrots. I hope I won't chop my finger off. And now, last but not least, my apple. Don't bother to peel it. The skin will help to hold its shape. All of my veggies are now prepared, so let's go and move to preparing the paste. So these are the ingredients that we are going to use for our paste. And we have 8 cloves of garlic, about thumb size piece of ginger, some fish sauce, gochujang paste, and some sugar. And let's move to the blender and I will show you how to blend it. So let's drop our ginger and garlic in. We're gonna add a tablespoon of regular sugar. You could use honey instead if you want to. We are going to add about 40 cups of fish sauce. That's just about right. And I'm adding 6 tablespoons of gochujang. Of course, you could use a little bit less or a little bit more depending on how strong your kimchi you want to be and how strong you can handle it. Thank you. So these are all of our ingredients in, and let's blitz. And our mixture is done, and this is how it looks like. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, so it's time for mixing everything together. So our cabbage, all of our veggies and apple goes in. And now here comes the paste. The smell of fish sauce is quite pungent at the moment, but it will mellow a little bit later on. Anyway, if you don't like fish sauce or you don't want to add it, you could substitute it for soy sauce, or some miso paste would be nice as well. But I think that since traditionally you would use dried shrimp for making kimchi, that fish sauce is not the worst idea. So put our paste in, and now we need to massage our paste into our cabbage, and I would suggest you to use gloves for that, but I don't have any, so I'm gonna go in with my hands. And now our mixture can go into our crockery. You could use large jar for it. And I would suggest you do that if you're doing kimchi for the first time, so you know if it's fermenting or not. Because that way you get to see the bubbles forming in your kimchi. And now here comes the water that I told you to leave. So it goes in just enough to cover your cabbage. So that should be about right. Wait until it pours into all the crevices. Add a little bit more. And now we are going to use the leaves that I've told you to put aside. And they are going to help us to stop our cabbage from floating to the top. Because if it's floating on the top, it will probably get moldy.
Yeah.
So we want to cover it. If the leaves are floating on top and they got moldy, you could always change them and probably nothing will happen to your kimchi anyway. So this is our barrier. Yeah, I'm going to put a plate probably on it, weighted with some water just to keep everything submerged, and that's going to be it. We are going to set it aside in room temperature. I say 22 degrees is a maximum for the fermenting process to start nicely. So it's gonna be kept in 22 degrees for about 5 days, I think, and we're gonna see if it starts to ferment nicely. After 5 days we are going to move it to the fridge for the further fermentation, and yeah, maybe we'll show you sometimes.
We'll try next time, it will be for you just a few seconds.
And here's how our kimchi looks after 5 days of fermenting on the countertop and further 5 days in a fridge. There you go, let me take a plate.
It looks very good.
And it smells really nice. Few more things about fermenting. If you put your kimchi in a jar, don't screw the lid on tightly, because the gases created during fermentation need a way of escape. And you also need some space, some dish for collecting water in case of it leaking out. So put it on a tray maybe to collect the water that escaped from your jar.
Let's try. It's good.
That's a bit spicy. Yeah.
But it's really good.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy our kimchi. So we are sure that you're going to enjoy it as well. So go ahead, make it yourself.
And see you in the next video.
Bye!
Bye!